Vegas lights shine bright, bad boys sitting pretty. Michael, Steve, Rob running things in Sin City. Podcast blazing truth, rhyming hard and witty. Three kings on the mic, Vegas life gets gritty. Matt Michaels dropping bombs, quick wit, no filter. Sin City's own, blending gold with the silver. Steve taking notes, every word's a thriller. Rob's on the tracks, beats cold like a chiller. Bad Boys a podcast, raw truth they broadcast. Speaking facts so fast, haters coming dead last. Las Vegas legends, three amigos top class. Mic in hand, setting fire, never outclassed.
Welcome to the Vegas Never Outclassed. Welcome to the Vegas Bad Boys podcast. I am Sin City Steve, being joined as always by Rob Bossoleri. Rob, how are you?
Well, you know, you always show that video of Wise Guys Comedy Club at the beginning. It was bulldozed yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I could only imagine how that feels. You know, obviously a place that you frequented as much as you did, and just for there nothing to be there.
You know what the weird thing is when you're walking in the space where you can see the foundation and you think how many people were sitting in there? 100 people, all these comics, and you walk through the whole space and it's so small. All they're going to do is just level it off, parking lot off the remainder, which is a shame.
That is absolutely a shame.
Arts District.
Exactly. I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us for the Vegas Bad Boys podcast tonight. We are live on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook. So if by some chance you're checking us out via podcast or on demand, feel free, just hit up our social media and, join into the conversation. If you are hanging out with us live, feel free to post your thoughts in the chat box and we will give our thoughts. We got a lot to cover, Rob. We got our work cut out for us, man. Let's talk about first things first, AEW Revolution, which, spoiler alert, was the best show this week, regardless of promotion. So
they gave
obviously,
you your money's worth.
Yes, they absolutely did. And, say whatever you will about the 4.5-hour runtime of the show. Yes, 4.5 hours of a main card runtime. We got 10 matches in the main show itself.
And none of them were shit.
Yeah,
not a single one was shit. In my opinion, they were all good. They were well-wrestled matches. I have no complaints, and there were a few swerves. No pun intended.
I see what you did there. All right, without any further ado, man, let's dive into this thing and let's just check out what all went down. What a better way to start us off than with the fucking pre-show. And yes, Wayne Brady had to smack a bitch and then got pulled over the barricade for his troubles. Shane Taylor just yoinked Wayne Brady over the barricade and then decided to pie face the Rizzler. It was all in a losing effort though, as Boom and Doom, Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall beat the Infantry on the pre-show to kick things off. This was exactly what you would expect from it. And I do have to say this, they're keeping a lot of the celebrity involvement in AEW confined to the pre-show when, let's face it, that's when we're going to get more of the crossover, the more casual fans tuning in. But I did see something, and I don't have a graphic showing it, but the clip of the Rizzler getting pie-faced by Shane Taylor has over 35 million views as of this moment when we're live. That's nuts. That's gaining great traction.
AEW needs this. They need to take more cues from WWE and introduce those celebrities in the middle of your pay-per-view. That's the time where I know I have the majority of my people watching. Pre-show's fine, but I didn't even remember the Wayne Brady thing. I don't watch the pre-shows. I just jump right into it. And AEW started off the night, the official night. They did their first match from pre-show, the national match, and carried over.
Yep,
So
we're gonna talk about that, including Lio Rush's new look. What do you think about that shit?
Oh my! Wait! Lio Rush had a full head of hair.
Yep. Not anymore.
He's another one's looking his age. First of all, he looks a little frumpy there. He just looks deranged. You know what they did? They said we need a counter for R-Truth.
Oh, jeez.
No, think about it. Look at that. That lumpy head of his. Oh my God.
It's scary, man. It's scary. But let's turn our conversation. Turn our conversation to the main event. Let's skip ahead and then we'll work back.
All right.
So obviously we've got the Texas Deathmatch headlining the main show, as we've got MJF defending his AEW World Championship against Hangman Page. And I decided to put one of the more jarring images up here, as we've got the skewer spot. This time they took the binding off of the set of skewers, which is always good. If you guys think back to previous matches where they've used skewers, the binding not being taken off, and I believe it was Moxley, ironically enough, where you got a whole stack of skewers getting pounded into your head and a binder still around them, that those skewers aren't going to go anywhere. So, Moxley had this like stack of skewers hanging out of his head.
He's kind of holding him in place. This is
thankfully this was a much better visual. This looked a lot better. The violence was not confined to skewers though, as we plainly saw.
The syringe hanging out of the guy's mouth.
MJF busts out the syringe from underneath the ring, not just poking the cheek as Hangman did to Swerve. He put that fucking thing all the way through the cheek, made sure that the needle was out the other side, and he was spraying that liquid through his cheek for the crazy visual, man. This match had all of the violence that you could want and then some.
I love the door spot where the window spot, and he's gonna prop up the window. MJF breaks the glass and goes, "Yeah, I'm not gonna do that indie shit." I love it.
The best part was it almost was kind of like a Trojan horse kind of a thing. In that, the window was introduced and Max is, obviously miming that he's going to hit Hangman over the head with it. And then he breaks it in the center of the ring. And then that glass continued to be there for the next few minutes in this match. I do have to say, MJF at one point in the middle of this match did bust out the ring broom and swept out that broken glass, something that I haven't seen done before in a Texas death match. Does
the F and MJF stand for funk? Because he came out in the Terry Funk attire, and one of the people in the audience said, "You're not Terry Funk."
No shit.
Yeah.
He dude, I saw the Terry Funk trunks, tights, I should say, when he had on the the poncho as well, and I was like, yes, he's paying homage to the man. I love it. And then obviously goes on, has one of the most brutal Texas death matches that we've ever seen in AEW. I don't think that there's a weapon that was used here that was they held nothing back. They held
dog collar
absolutely nothing
usage
back.
where they're both tethered to each other. He literally dog walks.
Yes.
Hangman Adam Page. He literally dog walks him. I mean, they say that, Jacob Fatu's, I'm gonna dog walk your ass. MJF did it.
Yeah.
And then the coup de grace is Hangman Adams Page. He gets choked out like he did to Swerve Strickland.
And that's exactly how he beat Moxley too.
Yep.
He beat Moxley for the championship by choking him with a chain over the rope in another Texas death match at All In.
And then his head bounces right off the camera, blood, and you got to love it. The credits, everything. This was cinematic. AEW did callbacks. They had continuity. They had violence. They paid homage. This is everything you want in a match.
Yeah. And, that lasting image with the credits right there, if you're watching the show, we've got it in the bottom right of the screen. And you've got MJF kneeling on Hangman Page, who's being stretchered out. And he's got the AEW World Championship over his head. You've got the blood splatter still on the camera. Tony Khan was telling the guys in the truck, don't you fucking dare change the camera angle.
The
don't
bottom
wipe
left
it
picture
off.
is your best because that little C splotch, you can't plan for that. That was like when the Young Bucks came out the first time and the dollar bill flew right into the camera and then Nick pulls it away. Perfect. Could not have asked for a better one, but MJF's face through the crescent moon of blood.
Yes.
Absolute fucking perfection. Could not ask for anything more.
Agreed. And as was mentioned, obviously in this match, there was so much stuff that went on. I mean, everybody hit their finishes multiple times. This was, I think, the only detraction that I have for this match is that it was over 40 minutes in length. It was like 43 minutes, I believe it was. And that's almost a bit too long, to say the very least, especially for this match. And the syringe spot happened almost in the middle of the match itself. The syringe spot happened, and then they wrestled for another 20 minutes. That would be the only thing that I would say as far as changing up the pacing a bit, is maybe move that type of stuff more toward the very end of the match. But that's just my personal preference.
Could they shave 10 minutes out? Yeah, but this is the thing. When you look back at matches, and AEW is in that weird place. Is it WWE big? No. Is it an indie show? Absolutely not. But WWE is never going to do this. They will never. Matt Cardona is happy on SmackDown that he got a couple of staples in his head. They're never going to match what AEW is doing. Never. AEW is giving you indie level violence, and that violence creates creativity, ingenuity. WWE is not going to do that. And they told the story throughout the course of the match, tying in past matches and the current storyline. Absolutely perfection. You're not going to get that from WWE now, who, as we speak, are still scrambling to put together WrestleMania 42. We'll talk about that later.
Absolutely, we will. And it goes without saying, but that was not the only championship match. As you did mention, that the Battle Royal to determine the national champion, that obviously was on the pre-show, but carried over into the main show, and that's where the show started.
That's me in the top left corner. You could see the hair and my skin tone and the tattoos. And if you meet me, you will see that that person in the top left corner is the same height. So yeah, that's me. And
can attest, actually. Can attest. Yeah, so true.
And you'll find us both in Las Vegas. See, I mean,
yes.
Me in Las Vegas. I'll be in Las Vegas, and my wife could sing like Whitney Houston if she has frizzy hair. And we're in Las Vegas. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Las Vegas. Yeah.
And so as is seen on the screen there, we have a new national champion. And I'll say it. Yeah. I picked him in the predictions contest. There you go. Out of 21 possible names to win this match, yeah, I'll take that one.
You did.
But in all seriousness, though, getting the win with a reverse Rana off of the apron was a great way to end it. I do like the fact that in this type of a situation, they had that bleed over from the pre-show into the main show with it being a battle royal. If it was just a standard match or maybe a tag match, I think the novelty would be worn off. But because it was the Battle Royal, I think that was the way to go. But please do not do what you do, AEW, and that is kill something. When you find something that works and goes extremely well, they bury it. They beat it into the ground. They do it so many times that you don't want to see them do it. Please just take a little bit back from that.
Not happy. And they do this all the time. I don't want to turn on a program and you're in the middle of a title match. I cannot stand it. I'm confused. And if there were any spots, the whole point of these battle royales is to showcase talent. It's to showcase all the abilities of the people, and for the AEW staff, management, Tony Khan, whomever, to go, oh, all right, these people are over with the crowd. But if I didn't get to see that on the pay-per-view, when you were talking about, Leo Rush being shaved, maybe I would have liked to have seen that. Maybe I would have had a reaction. Don't assume that even if I'm not watching at a friend's house or wherever, I buy this. Am I going to want to sit through the pre-show? No, I'm going to turn it on at 5 o'clock, whatever. And you're in the middle of a match and your guys are jumping in the middle. I don't like that. TNA and WWE, it's a little bit much on the front end when they do these things, but I prefer that. Gives you time to piss, make some, Totino's pizza rolls, because we still eat like 12-year-olds. Get your booze in.
There you go. Or other party favors, what have you. But yeah, man. And then by the
way, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Absolutely. And
cilantro.
Yes, absolutely. From there, the action it didn't let up, man. We had the tag team title match between the Young Bucks and FTR, and you had the Young Bucks come out with all of their family members, their bucklings, if you will.
Bucklings.
And yeah, and man, it was interesting, but the right call was made here. You have FTR go over, but then after the match, we had some tears.
Well, no, that was during
that. But also after the match, we had the return of Cope and Cage and Cope, kind of a weird T-shirt that they've got, but okay, whatever. We'll overlook it. Clearly, we can see what's going to happen leading into All In Wembley. So next month, they have a pay-per-view in Canada, in Vancouver, Dynasty. So what would not be surprising at all would be if FTR wrestles Cope and Cage for those tag team titles in Canada, and then we crown new tag team champions. We can keep this shit going all the way through until All In which you have your three-way between Bucks, FTR, and Cage and Cope.
Or I mean, it's possible. We saw them do Cope in Canada before at the Metro Center, and they performed in front of 3,000 seats in a 16,000 seat arena.
Yep.
Embarrassing.
Yep.
So obviously they're not going to book a place that big this time. They'd be dumb to take a chance on it. I would call them losing in Canada, just like the Young Bucks lost in California. And then we'll see where the cards lay, who can build a better story, because you still have Christian Cage dressed up like a therapist. It's bizarre. He's not wearing any ring attire. He does not look prepared. When he first came to AEW, he looked like Christian Cage from TNA days. Okay. He's not, obviously the guy's going to be working out. So I don't like that is he still going to come to the ring in a turtleneck and in a dickie? I don't like that. I let them just come out like Edge and Christian. I get, yes, I just said before I like storytelling, and fine. Let him come out, lose this time around, right? They lose, and Christian Cage goes, I'm not 100%. And Cope goes, you got to get to your core, blah, blah, blah. Then they come out in their vintage Edge and Christian clothes. That's what they need to do. They need to lose in Canada.
Okay. If you say so, we will definitely agree to disagree on that. But
Cage, Cope,
yeah.
Cage.
Yeah. Nonetheless, moving on, we had, quite frankly, my match of the night next. Moxley versus Takeshita. Boy, this match was fucking fire. Now, the only thing that I'll say is this. The crowd that was there live, they knew, based on the build to this match, that this match had to go at least 20 minutes. So they were not into any of the near falls, any of the drama, anything in terms of, finishes into 2 counts and things like that until after the 20-minute mark. And then after that, if you'll notice, the fans seemingly flip a switch and they become extremely rabid. But this was a banger of a match. In the top left, if you're watching the show, you see Moxley choking out Takeshita. He's got both of his arms grapevined. There was truly nowhere for this guy to go. Dude, these guys beat the shit out of each other. Absolutely beat the shit out of each other.
And it was Takeshita who was bleeding. Mox caught Takeshita right in the black eye, busted him open off that original wound. That was when Mox had tried to give him a suplex, and Takeshita gets right back up and is hovering over him. I love that image when he just starts to hover over him, and Mox is freaking out because he's like, oh shit. I'm going to call it. This guy will be in the Death Riders. If he is not in the Death Riders, Takeshita, that is the biggest ball you could drop. That is dropping a bowling ball into a lane with no pins. If you let that slip, put him in the Death Riders.
Absolutely agreed, man. And after the match, you continue telling stories because Moxley extends his hand. Takeshita, being the heel, even though he worked babyface in this match, he goes to leave as per the Don Callis family, and then just says fuck it, goes back in and shakes his hand. So it would not surprise me if we get some sort of a beatdown this week, or something, maybe a tease of a beatdown with Takeshita being booted out of the DCF. And who would come to his aid? The Death Riders. I could easily see that happening. And have him in there.
You get a faction for him because this is a faction wrestler. He's not a solo wrestler. You cover the language barriers because Mox will do the talking. Marina Shafir could do the talking. You've got storytelling now because you've got the Sharks and the Jets. You've got Don Callis' family versus the Death Riders. This is what it's all about. In AEW, you have 3 factions. You've got the Don Callis family, followed by the Death Riders, followed by the conglomeration, and what I believe will be some iteration of the Bullet Club and or Elites. And I want that so bad I can taste it. I want Bullet Club Elites, BCE. That would be, dude, think of the hottest women wrestling community. Imagine the Bullet Club Elite. Your dicks will skyrocket off your torsos. That's how amazing it will be if you got to see the Bullet Club Elite, because you've got the dogs and they're throwing up the toot sweets already. They're setting it up. Please. You've got the Bang Bang Gang making appearances on Collision. You've got the dogs. You've got the Elite. Put all 3 of them together. Just have them all show up in a ring one day and go, oh, wow, we're outnumbered. You've got the Don Callis family to the left. You've got the fucking, oh, my God, it's so easy. Yeah. You just do it. Just do it. Do it, please. Make me happy. Make me happy.
Absolutely, man.
The Death Riders to the right. Just do it.
Yeah. Exactly. And after that match, we got the return of Weapon X. Oh, sorry. I mean, Will Ospreay. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Did not miss the beat.
No, dude, the crazy thing about it is that the dude shows up in his very first night back in the company after having neck fusion surgery, and he does a sky twister press and almost hits his fucking head on the ring apron on the way down. Oh my God.
What and we would not have known. Of course, we knew he had neck surgery, but he points to the scars. He points to the incision. He's operating at normal levels. He fought off all of the Death Riders.
Yeah.
This is the kind of
mind you, this was 6 months ago. He underwent surgery 6 months ago. That's almost John Cena in Madison Square Garden levels of healing. That's insane.
That and when he took the dive off the top rope, off the top turnbuckle, my head exploded. No one should be able to recover.
Which one?
That quick. Dude, come on. I already blew off one nut, you know? Gonna have to bring my ass to a hospital. I ain't getting back up in those 6 months. I'll tell you that right now. Shit.
Exactly, man. So yeah, obviously they're working toward Ospreay and Moxley, so that should be one hell of a program. But then we had to crown some new women's tag team champions. Now, obviously, I did not discuss the Lena Cross versus Willow Nightingale match that went down on the pre-show. Realistically, when they announced both of these matches were happening in the same night, even a blind person could figure out what was going to happen. One of those titles was going to change hands, and it's going to be the one that is being contested on the main show. And here we have it. The TBS title retained by Willow over Lena Cross on the pre-show, the 0 hour, if you will. And the new AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions, the Divine Dominion. They gave these ladies a tag team name. They gave them a graphic. They gave them more cohesion than what they usually do for nearly anybody on the roster, man. They had the presentation ready to rock and roll for these ladies, and deservedly so.
All right, real quick. I'll try to keep it quick. The fact that Lena Cross attacks Willow Nightingale post-match, injuring Willow Nightingale's shoulder to the point that she's globbed up in kinesio tape.
I was hoping that you were going to reference that.
As soon as you see that shit, you're going, they're losing. They're hardly. Oh, don't worry. We're still win. I'm like, nah, you're not going to win now.
No,
And here's the other thing. Penelope, I feel bad for Penelope Ford because she's completely useless. She has been Kip Sabian's, valet, right? Wife. Yeah, well, both. Yeah. I mean, she shows up and she brings out, Megan Bain gets hurt, dresses up a matching ring attire. There's no cohesion there. There's no chemistry there.
Yeah.
They bring in, Marina Shafir, still no chemistry with those two women. These two women have chemistry. Lena Cross and Megan Bain have the chemistry. And my only thing with popping all the graphics and everything that soon is you're suspending disbelief. I should have seen that on Wednesday, not immediately following their match with the name and everything. They should have came out on Wednesday, had a celebration where Penelope brings them out, mic in hand. Now we reaffirm that she's the valet for that group, so she has something to do. And then we say what their tag name is. They buried it. They rushed too quickly to assign a value to them. It wasn't needed. They could have waited the few days would not have killed them. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I totally get that. And again, what gets me with these ladies is their sheer size, man. Obviously, over on the other show, we've talked about Lash and Nia and the size that they have. And
What are you trying to say?
Hey, I'm just speaking facts, man. But over here on this show, they're pushing their Amazonian women's tag team as well. So yeah, I do like instances like this, and you have to wonder how long this title change was in the works, because obviously the Penelope Ford blown landing on Dynamite, where she messed up her ankle pretty badly. According to reports, they were supposed to win the titles that night on Dynamite. So obviously for that not to happen, I know that we kind of shit canned the finish as being a DQ. So they kind of retconned some things just to make it go and make it work for the pay-per-view, which is fine.
This was better. This was a better ending.
Yeah, this was a fortunate accident. Absolutely.
But it was the ending, the post ending was too polished for what we had.
Yep.
Was too polished. If she walks out with the big ankle crutch or the big boot, she's gonna look like an idiot because she just spent the entire fucking year with the sling.
Yep.
She might have to just disappear, unfortunately. It sucks. It really sucks. I don't, she's got to be punching walls behind the scenes. I like this. I like everything about it, but they rushed the polished ending.
Yeah, absolutely. And so elsewhere, we did find out who the most dangerous man in AEW was, and it is Swerve Strickland, as he defeats Brody King after a vertebreaker on the exposed concrete of the arena floor, and then a swerve stomp, then 3 house call kicks. I don't know how you could protect Brody any better in this loss, but yeah, Swerve looked amazing, showing off some fucking power. This dude picks up Brody King for a power bomb on the apron. He lawn darts the guy. Swerve has definitely put in some work, man. And this match is excellent
behind him. This is the distinction that WWE will never do. WWE is going, you're a heel, be a heel. And they're going to go, no, I'm the most dangerous man. My problem isn't with the audience. It's with Brody King. He kept it with Brody fucking King. And I like that Prince Nana did not shook and jive down. He just walked straight down.
It was all serious.
Serious. I like that. And you don't have to turn on the fan base to do it. You can evolve a character and have nothing to do with the fans. We have not seen shit like that since The Rock and Stone Cold, in my opinion, where they knew how to write characters. WWE, they either don't write the character well, or they try to ignore everybody else around, like what they're doing with CM Punk and Roman, where it's like they're in a bubble and it's just the two of them, and they're just both being kind of crotchety and cantankerous and annoying. This is, I'm a fucking savage.
Right.
What did you say about me? I'm gonna prove it to you. And another guy, he gets thrown over the top, more canonizing shit, just strangle the dude. He strangled him out. They did more canon stuff. They just went, remember when we did that? I'm doing it to you now. Over the rope, choke your ass out. Inverted breaker.
Absolutely. And shout outs to our boy Bionic Scoop. Thank you for hanging out with us as always, bro. Definitely appreciate you joining us for the show. And if you are, if you're checking us out live right now, feel free to put your comments into the chat as well. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So
and Instagram.
And Instagram.
And YouTube.
Instagram. And I thought I said YouTube. Oh well. Anyway.
I thought you maybe did.
Yeah, we're all over the place, man. So yeah, feel free to interact with the show, and we will definitely get your comments on the air. Let's turn just a little bit to the Toni Storm versus Marina Shafir match, which it was an all right match. I can safely say that Marina's in-ring work has gotten better exponentially, and her character work has gotten better exponentially.
But she was outshined.
Well, obviously, when you're in there with, quite frankly, the best, that's going to happen.
Not even that.
Storm, elaborate.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. No, great match, but Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, yeah. We're definitely getting there. So as far as the match itself goes, Tony gets the win with the big package, and then as you mentioned, Tony goes to the top of the ramp, and then lays down, and then who steps into the ring? No music, no fanfare, no nothing really to draw your attention there outside of this individual entering the ring, and it's Ronda fucking Rousey. Now, obviously, she said a lot of things in recent history about wrestling, the business, fans, but directly WWE and TKO. Obviously, Ronda has this fight upcoming in May against Gina Carano, which ironically enough is on Netflix. So are we possibly going to get ad reads from Michael Cole on Raw for the Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano fight on Netflix? And hopefully it's in the contract that they say AEW wrestler Ronda Rousey.
Oh, that would be
4D chess by Tony Khan right there.
This is, look, first of all, Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano are the same exact person. They are two Hollywood stars, two MMA fighters. Gina Carano has never been a wrestler. Gina Carano was on the first season of The Mandalorian. And they both blew up their career by just having shitty attitudes. Gina Carano with her insane posts, and Ronda Rousey with just burning every bridge. That is going to be an excellent fight and a great way for both of them to break back into MMA. But to have them now AEW adjacent is, and like you said, Steve, if they have to announce that on WWE television, good shit. Also,
all right. So obviously quite a bit of polarization on the internet about Ronda's debut in AEW. Realistically, a lot of people are not happy about having Ronda Rousey in AEW. But let's be real. I need everybody who's second guessing this decision and is upset about this decision to think about this for 1 minute. What has mostly everybody been saying that Tony Khan needs to do? He needs to grow the brand. They need to get more eyes on the product. What a better way to do that than to ink a deal, even if it's for just a couple of appearances, with Ronda Rousey, who is best friends with Marina Shafir. There are connections on the roster. And quite frankly, she's been in the news recently because of her comments about TKO, who is a competitor and is the name brand in combat sports. Let's just call it what it is. So this is going to be a way that they can bring additional eyes to the product, because I guarantee at least some people listening to this show, watching this show, are going to tune in on Wednesday on Dynamite to see if Ronda shows up. And right there, you're accomplishing what Tony set out to do.
Agreed. Look, you want her with the Death Rider. She came out with a Roddy Piper jacket. She's owning the lineage of her wrestling career. She's not going to say, well, Roddy Piper and my association with him is limited solely to TKO. She came out and pissed in WWE's mouth. You know what she is now? She's the modern day Alundra Blaze. Yeah. She is coming over to the competing brand. She's got the same gimmick. She's got the same ring attire. She's rolling with Moxley's crew. And if she could cut just a severe promo We're all waiting for that promo. We're waiting for her pipe bomb. I want to see her pipe bomb. It's going to be memorable. Will she be a permanent wrestler? No. She'll Pepsi fill it up. She will
Absolutely.
Pepsi fill it up.
Absolutely. And it's very interesting that that we've got all this stuff going on, and as far as I have to make a mention of the production on this show, because there were some excellent moments in this show. You made mention of the Takeshita spot with him rising up after taking a crazy move from Moxley. Unfortunately, in this pull apart, we completely missed Marina Shafir clocking Toni Storm in the back of the head and laying her out, which had to be explained on commentary. So I that's one of those things that, if I don't draw attention to it, then obviously the integrity's not there. Was this show without a negative blip here or there? No, there were some things that didn't go as well as what they should have, or what many would have hoped. But in any event, yes. So Scoop. So Bionic Scoop says she was in a Rousey Letterman, I believe. Sorry, bro. It was actually a Rowdy Piper Letterman jacket.
That is correct. It was a black and red, and it said Rowdy Piper on the back, like student of Rowdy Piper, something to that effect.
Yeah. So they are still keeping the lineage there, but I swear to God, if I hear fucking Joan Jett on AEW TV, oh my God, I fucking hated that song when she was in WWE.
Jesus Christ.
It made me hate that song as a whole. Yeah,
but you delegitimized her. She's not a badass if she comes out to one of the poppiest songs of the 80s.
Right.
You don't fear her.
Absolutely.
They did her such a disservice because they didn't separate her. Look, if she wanted to say that Rowdy Piper was this great thing, when she came out with the kilts, I thought that was silly. Once or twice, fine. But
it became the fucking gimmick, bro.
But when she was the heel, I don't want to see her dressing up as Rowdy Piper. Establish your own lane. Don't fucking hang on to this guy who's been dead for a decade. All right, fine. You paid homage. I like it now only because you're connecting to your WWE past. Do not let it go beyond that fucking Letterman.
Correct. Don't let anything else. Yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. Speaking of this, Dave Meltzer
came out to it in UFC. Don't care. Don't give a shit. It's corny. It's fucking lame. It's lame. You're not a badass if you're coming out to Joan Jett. That was the theme song of American Choppers. It's just like, get the fuck out of here. Don't give a damn. It's a bad reputation. All right, fine. You're fine. You're making fun of yourself. I don't care.
Thank you for the clarification on that Bionic Scoop. He says that she chose it, though, when she came out to it in UFC, and people said she had a bad attitude. Yeah, it still doesn't need to follow her to AEW. So, also Meltzer had this to say about the Rousey appearance. It's good for AEW to have a strategic alliance with Ronda, because in the real world, whether wrestling fans like her or not, in the real world, her name carries a lot of weight. It absolutely does. So keep that in mind. If you want this brand to grow, if you want this promotion to grow, realistically, there has to be certain things like this here and there in order to bring in casual fans, in order to bring in additional eyes. That's just how it is.
And she looks like Marina Shafir's twin sister.
Yeah. And let's be real too. They could team up and go for those women's tag team championships too. After the fight in May, they could easily do that.
I want to see Shayna Baszler in AEW. And I'll tell you why. I want to see her team up with Marina Shafir, right? And then when she finally departs and goes back to whatever she's going to do, if she, doesn't decide to stay, I would like to see her replaced by Shayna Baszler. I'd love to see Marina Shafir go, who's going to help me? Who's going to help Marina Shafir now? She's burned every bridge with every woman in the back in the locker room. Shayna Baszler comes out, Queen of Spades. Boom.
I would be totally good with that. The only thing is Shayna is currently contracted as a coach with WWE and NXT specifically. So
I saw that. I saw the video of her coaching
yeah,
people and giving them holds, and
yep,
I'm like,
yep.
no, you're being wasted. They wasted you the majority of your career there. All right.
So that's where we are. Anyway, elsewhere we had we're continuing to ping pong those trios titles as Mystico and Jet Speed. They took the titles off of the Don Callis family. And I do have to make mention the Don Callis family. We were talking about Letterman jackets earlier with Rhonda. The Don Callis family Letterman jackets were a pretty dope touch. It was subtle, but I dug it. Keep them coming to the ring wearing DCF jackets. I'm on board with it. I like it.
And it's merch to purchase.
It is. And it gives that common thread between the members of the faction. So I'm all for that. But nonetheless, Kyle Fletcher and Kazuchika Okada, they were not the ones pinned or taking the fall in this one. It was Mark Davis, who they made look like a badass in this match. But as is the case, usually if somebody shines extremely bright in a match, they're going to be the one eating the pin. So, yeah, Mark Davis ate the pin here. New Trios champions. And after the match, Mystico got his graphic. Mystico is all elite. So he is the latest with a double contract, joining many others who have come before him. In having a dual contract with AEW and in this case CMLL, of course. Which keep in mind, the Bionic Scoop chimes in and says the DCF family jacket budget gotta be insane. Dude, 18,000 members in the faction. Everyone's got to have their own color too. So,
but I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up how amazing that end was, because the frame that you have here is seconds before the final count. Yes. Mark Davis is in the center of the ring. They are at the right ring rope, and Kevin Knight flies over this submission to get the elbow down onto Mark Davis or the splash. That was the most ridiculous way to end it. You're looking at this thinking, no, Kyle Fletcher didn't eat the pin, but they were putting the submission on him anyway. So just a phenomenal match. And also all three members of this new team with Mystico all had luchador masks on.
They all were wearing Mystico masks, which was really dope. They were all, dressed in unison.
They looked like Bandito.
There you go.
They had half masks like Bandito. Bailey looked like Bandito and Kevin Knight looked like Bandito, and that's something we're seeing in wrestling now, that the allure and the mysticism, no pun intended, of the wrestling mask. A lot of gringos are getting to wear this now.
Hell yeah.
All right, the lines are blurring a lot, but
I like it though. And elsewhere, we did have the 2 out of 3 falls women's world championship match in which Tekla retained. Definitely the right decision to be made. Tekla continues to impress, man. She's great in the ring, amazing on the mic. She's got it right now, dude. She is putting it all together, and she could have a great run with this championship, at least until All In, when maybe Mercedes takes it off of her. Don't know. Just saying. Speaking of which, Mercedes did lose another championship. Actually, a couple since we did the last show.
CMLL, she lost.
So she's down to 4. So like we said, man, she's going to lose every single one of those titles, and then she's going to snap, and then thus starts the babyface turn. So
the only thing they have not done, again, because we've been talking about continuity all night, is they've been not showing the reactions. They needed a film crew at each of those locations to record her in the locker room having a mental breakdown if I didn't see it already. They needed to do that.
That's the thing, is they easily could do something with that if they had those things together, and maybe they put some sort of a grand video package together. But I completely agree with you. I think that they need to show the downward spiral, if you will.
Because if I'm an audience member and she shows up this summer and goes, "Oh, I'm so defeated." Wait, what happened? We haven't, because your casual fan is not going to follow all of her. They're posting the losses, fine. They show the pins, fine. I'm not seeing her reaction. I need to see her reaction. I need to see how distraught she is. I need to see her completely. And if you don't do it that way, they need to do a video montage of her eating all the pins and then sitting in a room by herself. They need to do something, but I needed to see it, like each one of those losses. You need to see the look on her face. I want to see her looking more and more weathered with each loss.
Yeah.
Until
Absolutely.
she comes down to a core of whatever Mercedes Moné is.
I like that. I really do like that. I think that, they should chronicle those losses. And quite frankly, I think that has been a bit of a missed opportunity if they haven't had a camera crew backstage at any of those matches. Or at any of those shows, I should say, excuse me.
Yeah, because Alex Windsor beat her for that UK title.
Yeah,
Alex Windsor doesn't walk around with that unless she already lost it. So she doesn't walk around with that. You would imagine you want to push the brawling birds over. She should be walking around with that fucking title around her, around her waist.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with that.
Why they're not doing that. That's another.
Yeah,
it's seasoning. Wrestling is seasoning. Every
agree.
time you put on a belt, you do a crossover. Every little detail is adding more flavor to the soup, and the soup is that final product. How flavorful is it going to be?
Right.
That's
exactly.
the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only other match on the main show that we haven't talked about is a trios match that, quite frankly, didn't have any place being on the show. Let's call it what it is. It could have been easily on an episode of Collision as a main event or on a Dynamite. And that was the Dogs versus Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong. So, yeah, you had the conglomeration and Darby Allin picking up the win over a faction that just debuted in your promotion. I don't quite get this. I understand the whole thing of Roddy and Orange. I guess they're trying to push them now as, like the odd couple tag team, whatever. Some innovative offense with Orange being thrown around by Roddy in this match. But I got to say, the best spot in this entire match was not a Darby Allin crazy weapon spot, but it did involve Darby Allin. It was that crazy ass spear from Clark Connors to Darby Allin through the ropes to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, that was fucking heat. That was great. So,
Gabe Kidd somehow getting his arm pinned under the ramp and just forced to watch, and he's just foaming at the mouth. It was odd. It was strange. It took a little bit off these three guys. The Dogs look a little weaker. Now, you could do that again. Again, this is me. I'm one out of billions. You could have the Dogs lose to the point where they look irrelevant. And then they're going to reach out and go, what do we need to get to the next level? And show.
There you go.
And then you pull it back with the Bang Bang Gang and you put them all under one roof. And then who runs that faction?
Jay White.
Exactly. Because the Bang Bang Gang right now is without a leader. So they go, hey, you want to listen to me? I'm Fit Finley. I'm Clark. I'm Gabe Kidd. You're going to listen to me. Switchblade Jay White comes out. Bang, bang, elite, or just something. It's all right there. The pieces. All of these people are part of the Bullet Club. Ace Austin is Bullet Club. Rock Hard, all of them. They're all Bullet Club. They're just use it. Buy it. You're a billionaire. That you're set. Don't. I feel like I'm being jerked off, and then you're not letting me finish. Okay, don't give me blue balls, Tony. You rich motherfucker. Okay,
right?
Because I know a guy who can make people. Just saying, he'll show you a picture of your house, and I'm just telling you. He might make an appearance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's obviously Revolution was one of the better shows that AEW's done. But just really quick in passing, did we have anything to say about Dynamite or Collision this week? Did anything stand out to you from either of those shows?
No, because it was all leading to this. It was
Exactly.
there was nothing.
I do have to say this, not to cut you off.
No.
They had an idea on Wednesday for the main event segment of the Go Home show for Revolution, which was a press conference between Hangman and MJF. Tony, I know you watched the show. Please don't do this again. It did not come off well. It got shit canned by everybody on the internet.
Brian
Danielson was just not good.
Looked like an old high school principal. Hey guys, calm down, boys, boys. Oh no, oh my. It
Absolutely.
was really bad. There was a match with Hechicero and Takeshita, which was good. Very good. El Clone is amazing. He's savage in the ring. Mark Davis needs that right vehicle. Yeah, I mean, there's good stuff there. There's meat on the bone.
I cannot believe that I completely did not evidently put an image in here on one other match that we didn't even talk about from Revolution. And quite frankly, it was one of the better matches of the entire fucking show. So shame on me for that. But Bandito versus Andrade was a solid match, especially featuring it showcased the power of Bandito. The deadlift 21 plex was fucking awesome.
I just remember the spots where they're trying to pull off their trunks and they can't pull their pants off.
And then you had Andrade just lay in one hell of a knee right to his face. So yeah,
and that was getting the phone number from the girl.
He took 2 breaks for selfies in the match. So yeah,
here's the thing. That was his shittiest match. It was amazing.
Yeah. And what jogged my my memory of this was Collision. If you see nothing else from this show, go back and watch Mascara Dorada and Andrade El Idolo. Seriously, Mascara Dorada and Andrade El Idolo put on a fucking banger on Collision.
Did you say mascara?
Mascara, yes. Yes, I did actually. But in any event, let's go ahead and just turn the page really quickly. Let's just kind of rapid fire through SmackDown. Tell me what you thought of maybe this here segment, Rob. Contract signing between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Yeah, exactly. That was obviously setting up your WrestleMania main event. And it was at this moment Cody Rhodes realized all his friends are eventually going to fuck him over. Yep.
All right, real quick. I'm getting really annoyed with the backstage shit between Cody and that fuckwit Sami Zayn, where Sami Zayn's like, "Where are you? I don't look up to you. You're my equal." Oh God, he's just too CRP for me. I can't take him anymore. They tried to make it about Cody getting his Cody. I'm tired of watching him be abused. I'm tired of the Boy Scout bullshit going on. And I'm tired of the predictable Randy Orton. Oh, I can't believe he did that. No, what WWE does is they rehash the same shit, and an AEW, it's paying homage or it's continuity, and WWE, it's lack of ideas. I've seen this shit so many goddamn times over 20 years that Cody Rhodes does this. And they told you. What do you say to Sami Zayn? You got to listen to the voices. They told you he was going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They told you.
Yeah, man. And it's just a matter of time until absolutely everybody turns their back on Cody Rhodes. I can't wait to see it happen. And then what do you figure that motherfucker still won't turn heel? He's
And
got
by
to
the
have it in a
way,
contract.
his
you know?
heel work was great in TNA and Ring of Honor and
Absolutely. Yeah. He was a
if he
great
would have
heel.
turned on the kids, everybody just go complete piece of shit. Oh
yeah. Absolutely, man. And elsewhere on this show, we furthered the storyline with Drew McIntyre and with Jacob Fatu. Obviously, Drew costing Jacob this match against Trick Williams, and the old "I quit, fuck this place, I'm out" storyline yet again rears its head as being a red herring.
making me nauseous to watch this shit.
Yeah. Anyway, elsewhere, we have our celebrity match for WrestleMania. As Jelly Roll is going to be getting in the mix there with The Miz. So,
and who's going to be in Jelly Roll's corner will be Danhausen.
Well, we'll see what happens with that guy a little here in just a minute when we talk about Raw.
Yeah,
but
all right.
Yeah, and then
Kit Williams is on a good tear right now with the "You're Toxic" bit. Not bad. He's doing decent with the "You're Toxic."
Yeah, Kit Wilson. The thing that I liked with that was the fat phobic comments to Jelly Roll.
Oh yeah.
What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Yeah. I agree, man.
He's good. He's good. But yeah,
I definitely agree with you there, man. And then you've got the women's tag team match ending in a DQ, muddying the waters. The Bellas getting involved. Oh God, are we gonna get the fucking Bellas winning the women's world tag team championships at WrestleMania? I think so. Unfortunately.
Can we get some new ring music for these fucking people from the mid 2000s? Can we get some new something?
Nah, bro. You don't get the the sentimental vibes from hearing "You Can Look But You Can't Touch."
I'm looking at this like they're the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz, and you got to put oils on their knees and elbows, all their joints.
Yeah, man, it's really crazy because I have the feeling that we're going to end up with a three-way for those tag titles. I think that we're going to see, Lash and Nia, and then Alexa and Charlotte, and then you're going to see the Bellas in that match as well.
And let's talk about this tag team thing where we're fighting over a fucking lantern.
Oh, Jesus.
We win. The Wyatt Six win. They get their lantern back. Then they lose the lantern. Then you see, you see our rock star talking. I like that they're doing the New Japan people.
Yep.
Tama Tonga.
The Gorillas of Destiny.
Yeah, Gorillas of Destiny talking to, and what is his name again? He's been gone for so long. Our Japanese rock star wrestler. What's that guy's name?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Nakamura. That's right. They don't use him except for these backstage promos now.
Yeah.
And he's there with Tama Tonga and going, "Hey, when are you going to be your old man?" Now, I like it, but does that mean we're going to see Shinsuke Nakamura do something?
Of course not. You know that he's going to put over whoever he works with. That's his role in the company. We've established that. But it is what it is. Yeah, whatever. I mean, at least your girl won in her match on SmackDown, right?
Michin isn't beating anybody. Michin couldn't beat Hornswoggle.
Pretty much
out of here.
Pretty much.
Michin. Come on.
Yeah.
And now, in any other promotion, she'd be a superstar. TNA, Jade again, because her name is Jade in TNA. She'd be a star. So, yeah, but not here.
Absolutely. And then as we turn over to Monday Night Raw, oh, man. Yeah. So, interesting stuff. And this promo with Phil as Roman referred to him. It was a pretty good back and forth promo, I've got to say. And then you've got Roman referring to CM Punk numerous times as Phil throughout the promo, even calling for Phil to get his ass out there. And then, ironically enough, and I got to give props to the guy. And let's be real, whoever wrote this promo, CM Punk point blank says that I'd call you by your first name, but that would be disrespecting a Samoan named Joe. And it was obviously paraphrasing, but nice Samoa Joe reference right there. And of course, obviously, because Roman Reigns' first name is Joe as well. Yeah,
Joe, no IE.
Yep, exactly. So extremely well done stuff. And then as you can see, Roman ends up on his butt. CM Punk lays him out, I guess. I mean, it was more of a holy shit, you surprised me with one there. But in any event, elsewhere on this show, we had the Battle of the Grande Americanos, as Grande Americano number 2 proved to be the winner in this match. I don't understand why you don't do this at Mania, though. Maybe they're going to do this and run it back at Mania. Maybe put the mask on the line between these two guys. But then it almost feels like the OG should be the one to lose his mask. Yet he lost this match. So going by traditional booking philosophy, the OG is just not going to get his win back if that's the case.
Remember, though, all of these people who are losing in this fashion were cursed, and they could tie it in, and you could probably see Chad Gable's going, all right, what did you do there, guy? You cursed me, uncurse me. It's possible.
Exactly.
It's possible.
Exactly. And then we did have a successful title defense for Penta against Dragon Lee. This was the best thing from Raw. And that was the consensus online. And if you're going to see anything from this show, go check that out. Penta, Dragon Lee putting on a show, as is to be expected. Great pacing and the right outcome, of course. Dragon Lee with the dragon wings. I like it, man. At least they're doing something. At least they're doing something with that guy. Elsewhere, you mentioned curses, and we did see after this match, we see Dragon Lee and Javon Evans hanging out back there, and then Grayson Waller, Kofi Kingston walk up on him, and then Danhausen runs into them backstage and tells them that he would love to be a part of the New Day, and when they decline him and tell him to get out of their face, he informs them that you are cursed. And the crowd is getting behind this shit, man. Danhausen is becoming one of the most over characters on this show, which is completely needed. And by that, Danhausen, he's a guy that realistically, he doesn't have to wrestle a match.
No.
He does not have to wrestle at all. And in fact, no, he doesn't. He shouldn't wrestle. He should strictly be like this little homunculus that lurks backstage and just curses people and, does other things like what we saw right here. But before I get into that, before I get into that, I gotta say, I loved the move that Kofi did here, because he mentioned that he didn't believe in all of his voodoo and stuff like that. And when Danhausen started the whole "you are cursed" cadence, he ducks behind Grayson Waller, throws Grayson in there, and Grayson was the one that got cursed. That was pretty dope. And Danhausen came out later on in the night with a fucking t-shirt cannon. This guy, seriously,
Gatling gun. He had a t-shirt Gatling gun.
Bro, fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. They are using this guy absolutely perfectly. Continue to do this. Lean into the sports entertainment aspect of this character, because he is a character that is tailor-made for this shit. And yes, I completely agree, Scoop. He fucking deserves this.
Now,
Danhausen gimmick was organically made by him and is something that has grown from nothing to what it is. Keep this shit going.
and he owns it. He has trademarked that makeup, that face, because he saw a version of his makeup on I think World of Warcraft or some video game had made a character that looked very similar. So he said, before this gets out of hand, let me own this. He owns that. He could take this gimmick back to AEW, to any other promotion whenever he won't do it, but he owns it. WWE cannot. They cannot. This is his.
Yeah, bro. All that I was gonna say is he ain't leaving WWE.
No.
They won't let him leave. He is going to be their new comedy guy for quite some time. Yeah. So he's definitely landed himself one hell of a spot, and rightfully so, well deserved.
They might bring back some 24/7 types like comedy belt, so they have something to give him. But yeah,
of course. And elsewhere on the show, we did have Stephanie Vaquer defeating Raquel Rodriguez after the interference / distraction from Io Sky. Dude, I mean, realistically, are we just gonna do like a 4-way at Mania? Io Sky doesn't have a match at WrestleMania, which is fucking insanity. We are a month out from WrestleMania. Io Sky's not on the card. That cannot be the case. It's a travesty. So yeah, and she can't be in some stupid fucking throwaway match either. Don't even start that. She's got to be.
Last Monday, they had it where she was looking on at the Kabuki Warriors wistfully. I don't remember if they did that this Monday, or if they followed up on that. I did just bring them all back. Have all the Japanese little hens cackling and high pitched screeches, or she could end up teaming with Kairi Sane when Kairi Sane finally goes babyface.
There you go.
Because I've had enough of Asuka, and then it gives Asuka, who might be a little bit, maybe needs to rest her knees. I don't know. Give Asuka like a month or two to just recoup.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Baby faces.
And last but not least, from Raw, we did have the and I'm gonna get to some other shit too, by the way. So I say last but not least, I'm saying for the matches. So we have AJ Lee retaining her Intercontinental Championship over Bayley. Yeah, I mean, this was a good full circle moment for Bayley. She's come out and said how important this match was to her. So, good on everyone involved for going out here doing this. It wasn't a long match by any means, but it was very important to Bayley to get this match in. So completely understandable. Elsewhere, we had this face from Paul Heyman.
Oh my God, that's just incredible.
In the fallout from last week. So yeah, obviously, all of the masked men drama, Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, all this kind of stuff going down. And as I mentioned, we're gonna talk about what went down with Brock Lesnar and somebody that came out to get in his face and beat him down and leave him lying. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but definitely a defining moment for a brand new Raw member to the roster. And you got to love it, man. You got to love it. The other thing that I'll mention too is, we've all given them shit about not building talents and not putting people over. Well, in all actuality, yeah, that person that benefited from it was Oba fucking Femi. And as you can see right here, Bully Ray chimes in and says, "How to Make a Motherfucker in 60 Seconds" by Brock Lesnar. Absolutely agreed. You have Oba lay out Brock. You leave him laying in the middle of the fucking ring. Oba puts a foot on his chest. Obviously, Brock has a certain type of atmosphere and aura around him, especially for certain members of the WWE viewing audience. So this was massive for a large contingency of the viewing base. And obviously, this needs to be done. I'll say it. I will say it right now. Oba Femi needs to squash Brock Lesnar at Mania. This needs to be less than a minute match. Oba needs to go out there and just beat the piss out of this guy.
All right. I didn't want to chime in this quickly. I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because Brock Lesnar, they tried to paint him as the guy who took over the mantle for fucking Undertaker, which he never did. He never showed up to all the WrestleMania's post. I don't like this idea that Brock Lesnar was unbeatable. He's already been proven to be beatable. He was beaten in a minute and a half by Bill Goldberg. So if Oba Femi beats him, he gets a little bit of shine off of this, but now you have to get back on track with the rest of the active roster. Brock Lesnar is not active roster. This is the same thing as, Gunther retiring John Cena and AJ Styles. Where's Gunther now? Nowhere. It looks good temporarily.
Gunther doesn't even have a match on Mania. Gunther is another one of those people that has no match for WrestleMania.
But that's what's going to happen with Oba Femi. There's going to be nothing you could get from this. Oba Femi and Gunther are the best people, and they have nowhere to go. You have Oba Femi, you have Gunther, you have LA Knight. Those three guys are each champions. And with Gunther and with LA Knight, you can write stories for them. Maybe Oba Femi, I don't know, maybe he is, good on the mic. I don't think so. They are not being used. They've been given the biggest setups, especially Gunther. What is Gunther going to do? Retire somebody for WrestleMania? This is stupid. I don't give a shit about Brock Lesnar winning or losing. He's squishy. Half the time he's squishy.
Yeah, absolutely. And, obviously that leads us all down that path toward WrestleMania. Yeah, April 18th and 19th right here in Las Vegas. They've been having some issues moving tickets. You know that, right, Rob? Well, they've dropped prices again. WWE dropped ticket prices for WrestleMania 42 tickets from the previous cheapest standard ticket to being $254 for night 2. It's now down to $177. Night 1 is also dropped from $228 to $177.
I'll be getting my tickets weekend of. That's it.
Completely it. Yep, I agree completely, and I will be joining you doing the exact same damn thing.
Fuck this. So. They burn their bridges, and it just nope. Oh, but Rob, you live in Las Vegas. You should be happy that the product has come back to your city a second. Not for the prices you're charging, not for what you charged me last year, and then you tried to raise on top of what you charged us last year, which was still insane. $2,500 pre-pandemic was ringside. Now, I mean, and again, kudos to you dumb sons of bitches for paying it. Now we went, we're not going to pay for it anymore. Good.
Yeah.
You're not offering anything better than what you had before. In fact, you're offering less than. And for a product that's less than, your price should reflect that. That's only fair.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about some of the shows surrounding WrestleMania weekend right here in Las Vegas. We're going to start talking about the Full Tilt Mania weekend. So it all starts on Thursday. And then, as far as Full Tilt Mania, you've got FSW Arena, you've got shows at 2 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. Obviously, get your tickets now, FSW Vegas. And then at the HyperX Arena, you've got Delgado Promotions at 4. You've got the ID showcase, the WWE ID showcase at 7, and the ladies' night out 16 at 10. So that's pretty awesome. You got a pretty full slate there. And then on Friday, we've got at 11 a.m., all of the fun starts. You've got a show at 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m., all at the FSW Arena. So that is 6035 Harrison Drive, suite number 5, right here in Las Vegas. And then at 10 p.m. on Friday, I'll say this, show that I'm looking forward to a lot, because anytime that 5-letter word is involved, Mecca, you know that FSW is going to pull out all the stops. They are going to be bringing the heat for that show. Not that they don't for every other show, but there's just a little something extra that they put in there for you for the Mecca show, which is at 10 p.m. at the Esports Arena at the Luxor. And then on Saturday and Sunday, obviously WrestleMania is going to be the main headlining show. But Saturday night, 10 p.m. at the HyperX Arena, you've got Killer Cross's Natural Born Killers 5, which is a blood sport type of a promotion. So you've got, your MMA fix. It's going to be an amazing show. And we're going to talk about some of the names that are going to be there. And then on Sunday, you've got the Spark Joshi Puresu show, Lady Luck 2, at noon on Sunday. So before WrestleMania Day 2 kicks off, you can catch some Joshi action. Now, let's take a look at some of the names. Obviously, we talked about Killer Cross. He's going to be presenting Mecca, and but also some very, very intriguing names for Natural Born Killers. Of course, he's going to be on that show. It's his namesake. Elsewhere, we've got TJP, who's going to be on the show. You've got Simon Gotch, no stranger to the Natural Born Killers action. Elsewhere, we've got Janai Kai, who's been on NBK shows before as well. Not to mention Jonathan Gresham will be at the Esports Arena competing in Natural Born Killers 5. And one name that is very interesting, the Queen of Spades herself, Shayna Baszler, will be appearing at NBK 5 only on Saturday, the 18th of April, 10 p.m. live at the Luxor. And there's a lot of stuff going on around Mania weekend. So there's going to be quite a bit to sink your teeth into. And, speaking of it, I think, hang on. Actually, our producer's telling me that is this legit? Okay. Just interrupting me, I guess. But in any event, it is a pleasure. Let's do it.
Greetings and hello. It's
Hello, Mr. President.
12:30 in the morning. What the fuck do you want?
What do you want, Mr. President?
What I want is for Tony Khan to bring back the fucking Bullet Club. Jesus Christ. You've got all the members of the Bullet Club. You've got the Young Bucks. You've got Kenny Omega. You've got Austin Aries. Ace Austin. You've got who else is in you've got the Young Bucks. You've got Switchblade. You've got the Rock Hard guy. You got all the Young Bucks. All of the people in the. By the way, you know what? Why do we call them Bullet Club? Let's call them Tomahawk Cruise Missile Club. That's a lot worse. That's the people that are on. That's a lot worse. The Tomahawk Cruise Missile Club. That's a lot worse if you get hit with the Tomahawk Cruise Missile. That's really bad. You don't come back from that one. You see these people walking down the street with their legs blown off because they got hit with a Tomahawk cruise missile from a B-3 bomber. And I think that's what they should call the young bullet bucks. The young bullet bucks. You should call them the Tomahawk Cruise Missile Bucks. The Tomahawk. Yeah, I like that name. Don't you like that name? I think that's a good name. The Tomahawk Cruise Missile Bucks. They're doing.
And Mr. President, I think that name it has a ring to it. I gotta say, but
the Tomahawk Cruise Missile Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, Mr. President, as we're getting closer to WrestleMania season, as we just saw AEW Revolution, what is every year I know that you are so kind as to give us a State of the Union. What do you think is the state of professional wrestling right now in 2026?
Well, quite honestly, AEW is putting on some tremendous work. Tony Khan's doing fantastic work. Not bad for a Middle Eastern guy. And WWE is doing a terrible job. It's horrible right now what they've done. They're going into WrestleMania, and Cody's being a babyface, and Randy Orton's being a heel. Not much of a stretch there. And then there's other matches that nobody cares about. Oh, and Fragile Phil is fighting Roman Reigns, and they both look old as dirt. I mean, good God, you could dye their beer so many different shades of black. They still look old. And, it's not that good. It's, these are stupid people. Paul Hunter Helmsley. Paul Helmsley is a stupid person. He's very stupid. These are dumb people. And I tell Linda, Linda, she's my Secretary of Education. She's doing a fantastic job. But I go, talk to your son. Is he still your son? I ask her all the time. I go, is that still your son? How does that work now? Do you get to see him on the weekends? Do you have alternating visitation rights to Paul? But they share him over the weekends. One weekend Vince gets him, and then the other weekend she gets him. It's very sad when you have a divorce and you have Linda McMahon's a single parent now, and it's quite honestly very tragic. It's very sad. She gets to see Paul on the weekends, and maybe she needs to see more of him, because between her and Vince, the product is terrible. We've never seen a product this bad since the McArch.
So why do you not like the McArch? I gotta ask, Mr. President.
If the fucking CEO won't eat it, I'm not gonna put that in my mouth.
There you go. Absolutely, words to live by our president, our 45th and 47th president.
Excuse me, I'm 45, and I was the 46th president. It was a rigged and stolen election. This is why we've got the Save My Ass Act. The Save My Ass Act is going to bring back election integrity at levels that, quite honestly, nobody thought were possible. We're going to bring back secure elections, and all you need is a driver's license, a blood sample, a stool sample, a passport, your mother's maiden name, her mother's maiden name, and you cannot have a penis if you want to be a girl. And if you want to be a girl, you can't vote. And if you have a penis and you're swimming, you can't vote either. That's the rules. That's the rules.
And how are those rules determined, Mr. President? Just out of curiosity.
Well, we've got Stephen Miller working on it right now. Stephen Miller's working on the details, and we've got to go through Congress. And I think if we give John Fetterman a few more hammer shots to the head, he'll vote the right way.
Wow. Some truly inspiring words there from Mr. President Donald Trump himself. Mr. President, any parting thoughts? I know you're extremely busy. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the viewing audience?
It's midnight over here, but for those of you in the West Coast still celebrating St. Patrick's Day, we honor that brave day when the Irish won their independence back in 1863 and were liberated by President Lincoln through an executive order freeing them from the bondage of slavery. They celebrated by making a beautiful and tasty fermented green drink made from smashed up 4-leaf clovers and potatoes. Each year we celebrate the Irish independence with this wonderful green beer. And thank you to the excellent work of, quite honestly, one of the greatest Americans, Abraham Lincoln. We like Abraham Lincoln. Honest Abe. We call him Honest Abe. Freed the Irish slaves back in 1863, making America great again, and righting an unjust that went on for, quite honestly, many have said far too long.
Absolutely. There you have it. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mr. President. It was great speaking with you. Have a good rest of your night. All right. And so, let's just take it go. All right. So we already made mention of this earlier. How to Make a Motherfucker in 60 Seconds by Brock Lesnar. Absolutely agreed. Gotta love it. I gotta make mention of this. We have to talk about this and discuss this. OVW referee Dallas Edwards is hospitalized with a brain injury following a horrific accident in the ring. Unfortunately, wrestlers continued to perform as he suffered seizures in the ring. Some good news behind this, though, is that Dallas is he is coherent. He is doing better. He is stable. So his health has gotten better. It's a very, very rough situation. And, I think that this is something that we at least have to make mention of. And, as it says in here from this Facebook post, during Thursday's match, there was a planned spot that resulted in an unexpected injury to Dallas. The match was 35 plus minutes with 12 men, 2 run-ins, and 2 referee bumps. Dallas's time came as planned, and everything seemed fine from my point of view, this being Tony Evans Frank. The next sequence had me falling next to Dallas and crawling away with my back turned to him, having my eyes focusing the other wrestlers in the ring, though I knew where Dallas was. As we set up for the next thing, in my periphery, I noticed Dallas was still close to center as he didn't know what we were doing next. So I go to move him. Dallas and I have worked together frequently, and he will usually go dead weight as I try to move him. When I touched him was the first time I had laid eyes on him specifically to this point for a brief second, and I saw OVW officials running from the back, but assumed it was for the chaos that had just happened outside of the ring. I go to move him and scooted him with my foot as I usually would, not realizing the severity of what was going on in the moment, as I was under the impression everything was going according to plan. I then did the next spot and turned to find many people in the ring huddled around Dallas and stopped in my tracks, confused, scared, and worried for my friend. Had I known in that split second moment when I moved him that something was wrong, I would have immediately stopped and tended to him as best I knew how. I wish I had known the severity of the situation. Nothing is more important in pro wrestling than the safety of all involved. Completely agreed. Rob, did you have a chance to hear about this, or are you aware of this? It was
situation? It's not a spot it's just a scary situation. Yeah. Usually the refs, they ham it up, but all of our blessings to him and his family. Absolutely. And I hope he makes a recovery. I've had a couple of seizures in my life. It's very disorienting, and it really, even if you just have the one, it will upend your life. For 3 months, you're not allowed to operate heavy machinery. You're not allowed to do anything. And if a doctor wants to, they can report it to the police. And if you're seen driving, you can be arrested for being a danger, public hazard. Wow. I say that because the seizure is no fucking joke. Your brain is swelled to the point of no return in your skull, and there is basically a film on the brain, and you black out because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can, and sometimes you'll never know what the cause is. But for me, I was drinking a ton of Red Bull and 5-hour energies, and I think I finally my body just went sayonara, and I was out for about 30 hours. I don't, it's not a joke. It's not funny. It's very scary. And the aftermath, even if it's a one-off, you're going to be wondering what was that triggering point. And this guy's going to be wondering if he has a career ahead of him where he's able to do and call matches at the rate that he's accustomed to. And they're gonna have to have a serious talk with the doctors and with OVW. It's very scary. And my condolences to him for having to go through that. And and by the way, in wrestling, in anything in life, there's no perfect scenario. There's no way to be 100% safe all the time. I got the honor to train briefly at Versus Pro Studios, and I realized just how dangerous it was on day 2, where I almost really, hurt myself pretty severely. Not for everybody. And if you are in average health and you get belted by one of these guys who's at peak physical condition, you're in a bad way real quick. So, I mean, look what happened to we're a good friend who's a GM over at FSW. You would never think, oh wow, I mean, you got guys like Chris Bay. These guys are shredded out of their minds. You've got Big E, remember that. So when we see Will Ospreay with a neck fusion, that is truly insane. But keep in mind, you called it one bad bump, and he is gone for good. He's, he wants. I know what he wants, and I know what I want, and I'm excited to see him operating at what looks like 100%. But it's a danger, and it is a sport. I get very angry when he says wrestling is not a sport. A sport is a team activity. A sport has a mutual goal. Whether or not a goal is scripted, that wrestling is a sport, and the sport of wrestling is not the finish. It's everything leading up to that finish. Absolutely. And the sport involves its referees. It involves its announcers. The referees are calling the fucking match. Even on the indies, the referees call the match. Yeah. I mean, and that means they're putting themselves in the line of fire from any finisher, from any mistake, any botch, any shoot. They get hit. It's not a joke. And if you notice on WWE, a lot of those refs are shredded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's the key, man, is
by design.
Ensuring that they're well trained. Completely agreed. So, and that's not to say any kind of a slight on, any refs on the indies or anything like that.
Absolutely not.
That is at the forefront with WWE for sure.
What I learned from from Versus Pro Studios, real quick, those referees take that job just as seriously as anybody would in WWE or AEW or TNA. They take their job seriously. This isn't like your dad coaching, little league baseball. No, that's not what this is. If you're seeing that and you think to yourself, oh, well, these guys, it's all fake. Fuck you.
Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. And let's have some lighthearted fun, shall we?
Yay.
Since we're doing a social media dump. So you've got somebody harassing, quote unquote, and giving shit to Tom Pestock, the former Baron Corbin, who literally says, okay, but you're nothing without WWE. And obviously working through this shit. And Jason replies to him saying, your favorite wrestler is Baron Corbin. That set off a firestorm on social media because Tom Pestock replied simply with, I am Baron Corbin, dumbass. then everybody joined suit online. All of the screenshots were everywhere. Workers, didn't matter which company that they were in, they were tweeting out that they were Baron Corbin dumbass as well. And good on MLW for working this in to his current gimmick. He is Bishop Dyer dumbass, which is the name that he's using as he's working in MLW. So you gotta love it, man. I love to see when indie workers, especially and indie promotions, when they notice that something has gained traction and has gone even semi-viral online. Yeah, let's capitalize on that shit.
You got to hit it fast. Fast.
Absolutely. And some fallout from Revolution. Ricochet was feeling some kind of a way and cut a post-match promo about no longer being the AEW national champion. And unfortunately, a fan piped up and said his acting hasn't improved, to which Ricochet took a look at Sandy's profile here. Right on the top of her profile, it says that she's an MS, that she's struggling with MS. And of course, Ricochet, being the heel, chimes in and says, "I'm glad you got MS," to which the internet and everybody got butthurt. Thus prompting an apology from Ricochet, saying, "I took my hatred for the IWC on Sandy and inadvertently others who were affected by MS. She didn't deserve it, and for that I sincerely apologize. Moving forward, I'll do better."
How to wipe up your career in one dumb tweet. Honest to God, this is what I would say. These motherfuckers need to have their shit filtered at a certain level of fame, because this is what wiped out Roseanne when they brought back the Roseanne show. It is one innocuous tweet. You think you're being cute, and you could fuck up badly. I did, the joke I did earlier. I ran it by another comic. I'm like, what do you think about this? Am I going to get canceled? I don't want people to get canceled. I'm an entertainer. I mean, but to say I'm glad you got MS, there's nothing funny about that. That's just it's not funny at all. It's just like, all right, well, I there's other ways to make me hate you if you want to be a heel. There's other ways to go about doing it. It's just yeah. That's
so clearly Ricochet let the social media get the best of him. On a lighter note, we did see the reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion Penta at the San Antonio Spurs game, showing off the title and getting a great reaction from the fans. Cero Miedo. Gotta love it. And then, I have to throw this in here because I guarantee that this was not the only person that had this type of an experience watching AEW Revolution. Pratty tweeting out, "My honest reaction to watching AEW for the first time." He's digging through all the shit, and then he sees some diamonds, and as we zoom out, that whole fucking screen is filled with them. So yeah, AEW making more fans based on their pay-per-view quality, and you can't go wrong with AEW pay-per-views, man. Earlier we talked about what could Gunther maybe retire to keep himself relevant. Maybe he retires the Andre the Giant statue. Maybe he retires the Battle Royal. Maybe he retires everybody in the Battle Royal. Who knows? And then last but not least, special shout out to friends of the show, Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes. We've made mention that they welcomed two beautiful twin girls into their lives. But here are some photos that just came out over the past week or so. And all four people looking fantastic. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. So
fucking all good right. On you, brother. Good on you.
Good on you, Rob, and good on you, Katie. We've done several interviews with Rob, and we did a live show with Rob and Katie. Those are all down in the archives. So feel free just go into whatever kind of a podcasting platform and just do a quick search for Rob Van Dam or Katie Forbes and relive those interviews with us. And as we make our way toward the end, Rob, I know you got a lot of shit going on. Let's talk about the Vintage Comedy Showcase coming up on Wednesday.
Wednesday show. Headliner, Mistress K. Okay. From The Female is Future Comedy and the public display shows that she does on Monday night. And I'll give her a plug on 610 Naples. Brittany Doss, who has been winning awards. She's had an explosive year in comedy, and she is an up-and-coming star. Bill Strange, the name says it all. When you see him, you will understand what Strange is. Mike Stiggs with his girlfriend and his mob stories, and his girlfriend, the host, Stella, will be there. And, of course, the Presidente. And the week after that, we'll have an even more amazing lineup, and even more. Each week will be better than the last.
Hell yeah!
Or sure. Yeah. Hold on, I have to do this right. No, this will be the last best show, and then this would 1227 South Main Street, Vintage Vegas. My favorite drink special that they have is they have the beer and a shot for $7.
Oh yeah,
that's $7. You get a shot and a beer. Great deal.
Bro, you can't get a beer by itself for $7. You can't get a shot by itself for $7 anyway.
That's right. That's right.
Killer
deal. Tell them what you want your shot to be, and they got a beer, and boom, beer and a shot. Now, as far as parking and food, it is Main Street. You've got good pie across the street. When I say across the street, I mean like the hop and the skip. Holstein's. Yeah. Up and down that little segment, you get whatever you want. But they've got great food within literally directly across the street. 2 restaurants right there. Doors open at 7:30. Although, let's be real, the doors are open all the time. So, but we are at a new location. This is a brand new location, Vintage Vegas Cocktail Lounge. If you see that for any reason it says it's closed, that's the Vintage Vegas Antique Store adjacent to it. Vintage Vegas Cocktail Lounge will be open, and they are doing an open mic music thing tonight for St. Patty's Day. And we might extend our comedy show and offer an open mic offering for those of you who say, hey, I'm really good. I want a chance to be on a stage. Great. We will find a way to get you up on that stage. Message myself or Mike Stiggs, and we will make that happen for you. And if you want to guest spot and you're one of my besties in comedy, then by all means hit me up on the social media, Vegas Trump Guy, which is my name, right? Vegas Trump Guy, or Boss Comedy if you want a cameo. BOCE Comedy if you want a cameo.
Awesome, man. All right. So really quick, I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, very special thank you to all the brave men and women serving this country, whether you're doing it on lands, foreign or domestic. Thank you for doing what you do so that we can do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, and general energy needs. Repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout and save yourself 10%.
And you will have the most golden PP. It'll be golden PP like never before seen.
Like never before seen. And you know what? On that note,
they held back on a lot of what they could do.
Did any of you have a great time tonight? Yeah.
With that, everybody, thank you for hanging out. We'll do it all again next week. Till then, happy wrestling.
Rolling up the strip under neon lights. Podcast mic is glowing in the desert nights. Matt Michaels leading with the swagger tights. Sin City Steve right by your side. Alright. Rob Larry dropping truths, no fear. Broadcasting stories, make it loud and clear. From the Fremont edges to the Bellagio sphere. These bad boys rule, let me make that clear. Vegas bad.
To Matt Michaels and the Vegas Boys of Podcasting, this is John Cena saying thank you so much.